Happy, beautiful Monday, beautiful people. We are on vlog number 4, and I'm tired. Your girl is sleepy, but I am excited to check in with you all. Um, so today's topic I actually haven't named, but I know what I want to talk about. So yesterday when I was beginning to record the vlog, I originally started in my living room, and I'll probably add a clip of that in this thread somewhere. And I mentioned that I was going to tell this backstory of one of the paintings up in my living room. And so today I want to talk about people who are in a season by themselves. Whether you just moved to a new place, whether you just got out of a relationship, whether your friend circles are changing, whether you just feel like I'm so busy, or the season that I'm in just doesn't have a lot of people around me. I want to talk to you. First and foremost, I come against the spirit of depression. I come against the spirit of isolation that isn't beneficial. I come against the belief that you don't have a community. I come against the idea that no one likes you, that you're not lovable, that you're not worthy, and that you have no place of belonging. Being in a season where you are moving by yourself can be beneficial if utilized correctly, and can be very detrimental if you know, mishandled. The picture that I have in my living room, again, that I'm going to add somewhere in this clip, is one of my favorite paintings because I'm not a painter. I am artistic, but I am not a painter. And it was probably, if I'm not mistaken, one of the first things I did by myself when I moved to Columbus, Ohio. If I'm completely honest, I was going through a breakup, and I had decided that I was going to make, I always say this, I say this now, but I was going to make Columbus, Ohio home, regardless of how long that was going to be. Whether I was planning to be here for a year, whether it was for 2 years, I always said, when I have kids, I want to be able to take them to Ohio if I'm not already living here, and show them around. I want to be able to tell them about the area, which to me translated into I maximize my time while being here. You know, I used to live in Pittsburgh, and if I had kids tomorrow, I would only be able to show them maybe 2 or 3 places. I didn't get out as much as I wanted to, but I was still really young, and I hadn't fully matured into understanding like every season has purpose um, if you open yourself to it. So the painting was one of the first events that I went to by myself, and a lot of people ask me when they see my hashtag on social media, scheduled happy, like, what are you doing, or why are you, going places by yourself? And I think what one of the things Ohio has taught me is to be okay alone. And some people are okay by themselves in a defiant way. Like, I can do bad all by myself, and really they're hurt, they're frustrated, they're disappointed, they're jealous, they're offended. But when I first moved to Ohio and I had made a decision, a conscious decision to make this home, I told myself I was going to be a tourist. I was working 10-hour days. I was going to school, and I just hadn't made time to find a community. I had a few friends out here, but it was really hard to get with them. Some of them had children, some of them were dating. And so naturally, as a single woman, you're working around your schedule, and now you're working around their schedule. And if you're not mature enough, you'll be offended when people don't make time for you. And so I've really had to learn, like, really quickly, Alicia, you live in a new place that you've never been. Be a tourist. Be a tourist of this area, because you may move back home in a month, and you don't want it to be that all you did was stay in your apartment. And so I had created this day called Lee Day, and that's like my nickname for family members. Sometimes they call me Lily. And it was on Sunday, I think. I think it started on Sunday. And Sunday, or whenever Lee Day fell on, I would do something to pamper myself. I would try a new restaurant. I would buy one piece of clothing. I would get my hair done. I would figure out something that was all about me, because during this breakup and during this new space of being by myself, I needed to unlearn things from my past relationship, and I also needed to relearn who I was as a single woman growing up. Like, who was I growing into? And then one of the overarching questions that I kept asking myself was, do I like me? Being by yourself in general does this interesting thing. It causes you to see what you're made of. If you go to like a restaurant and you have a meal by yourself, initially the discomfort is everyone around you, they have someone there. And so you don't know what to do with yourself. And then you start to think like, is something wrong with me? And there's not. And I know I'm jumping around, but so the painting was one of the first things that I did by myself. I went to one of the paint nights, the paint and sips that Groupon was hosting. I treated myself to one. And just for those who've never been, they're not drinking liquor unless they order it. They're not giving out liquor. And I remember sitting in the front. I got super cute for it. Not like super duper cute because clearly we're painting, but I got cute, right? Because while I wasn't ready to date, I also didn't want to present myself to men as someone who had let herself go. And I was just going through such an interesting period in my life because I was in a place by myself. I was unlearning, I was relearning, and I was creating. I was trying to figure out what from my past relationship and the things that I was taught growing up that I wanted to keep and what I wanted to do away with. What about myself did I believe that someone said, and what did I want to correct? What about my self-esteem was struggling, and what did I need to readdress? What about myself did I not like that my relationship allowed me to overlook? I mean, I just had so many questions during this period. I had so many questions. I had so many nights where I journaled for hours. And I mean, when I say hours, I mean like maybe an hour or two, but just like writing. And I'll talk more about all these different steps and strategies that if women or even men are interested, I will, discuss. We can talk about them in the comment box. But the painting was so interesting because for a number of reasons. I'm a doodler for one, and I always draw flowers, but these flowers look sad. And if I remember correctly, I remember on the picture, I think the flowers were originally supposed to be like a dark color, like dark blue, purple, stuff like that. And I think if you look at my painting, it's not dark colors, but the way the petals fall, it is kind of sad looking, right? And I remember going into the painting workshop, and I sat in the front, and our host who was teaching us how to paint was like asking everyone, like, who are you here with? She's doing like karaoke style, and everyone's there with their boo or their best friend, and she gets to me, and I'm like, I'm here by myself. And it completely changed the mood for about 5 seconds. She's like, you came by yourself? I was like, yeah, I came by myself. I'm here by myself. She was like, wow, like you are the MVP. Like you are here by yourself. Oh my God, I've never seen that. And I just was like, I wasn't cocky about it, but I just felt so empowered for a moment that she recognized that. I felt supported because she could have been like judgmental. It was a moment that could have shifted my outlook on being by myself. But her energy just boosted me all the more that I went up and I did karaoke style, and I think I sang Bills, 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 can you pay your telephone? Something like that. I mean, I just had a ball by myself. And I realized that day how fun I am. How awesome of a person I can be just because of the things I enjoy. And so I began to go to different restaurants by myself. I began to go to the movies by myself. And I realized the more I did things alone, how much I later, when pursuing a relationship, would be able to contribute to the conversation. What do you enjoy? What don't you like? What restaurants have you tried? And so to keep this video short, and I plan to talk more about, how to get through breakups and so many things, if that's something people are interested in. Today, I just wanted to talk about if you are alone, whether it is willingly, and I can feel myself kind of getting emotional because so many people struggle with being by themselves. And honestly, it's not the worst thing, because you do have a community. The struggle in being by yourself physically is that you have to tell the mental space that you're not alone. And I never identify myself as technically being alone because I always was like, the Holy Spirit is with me. Like when I tell women who come to me for advice, girl, if you don't go to the restaurant by yourself, and they're like, what do you do when you're there? I'm like, girl, you can finish a book. You can listen to a podcast. You can watch YouTube sermons. You can watch YouTube comedy shows. You don't always have to be in this deep headspace. And have a ball. I literally take my phone when I was going places by myself. I would sit it up on that salt shaker, honey, put my earphones in, and I would just, can I have the steak and mashed potatoes, please? And light ice in my Pepsi. And people would just, I know initially they're like, what are you doing? Table for one? Do you see anyone else? Yes, a table for one. But I loved it. Oh my goodness, I loved it so much. So I just really want to say, I really want to, my biggest point, because I will go on and on, because I have truly learned to enjoy being alone. I mean, I will talk about trips that I've taken. I haven't traveled by myself yet. Now that is something I do want to do. I would like to travel to like a, let's say like a beach or somewhere, like in a mountain, somewhere not like risky, because listen, I can't afford to come up missing. The Amber Alert won't be for me. It'll be for my kidnapper. I will be sending the Amber Alert. Like, but I do want to travel to a place that's like not too far away from people for safety reasons, but not too close to like loud areas. Because I think it would be nice, but it's not like something that I'm pressing to do. Like, I think traveling alone can be dangerous, but I also have read so many blogs where people feel so empowered by it, and I'm with it. Like, I feel like if I went, like, I went to, my best friend and I went to Dominican Republic over the summer, and I got to Florida before she met me, like, let's say 11 hours early. And I don't remember us talking about me getting in that early, but I'm probably sure I probably booked it just to have some alone time. I don't know. But, like, I had my suitcase, and I'm, like, on the strip with all the stores, and I'm like, which restaurant am I going to today? And I'm looking at all my choices, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat here. I'm going to go look at these stores, maybe pick up something here. Just, like, she's like, oh, my God, you have 11 hours on me. I'm like, girl, I will be here when you get here. Believe me, I'm going to enjoy this time. I'm in Florida. Why would I not? If I could get to the beach and not look like a terrorist with this suitcase, I would have gone to the beach. But I enjoy myself, and I think that a lot of people, they do not maximize their single season or just seasons where they are by themselves because they're so worried about always having someone with them. You are a better person when you know who you are. And by that, I mean not what people say, not what people say about you, not what people have validated you on, not what people have attributed to who you are, not the things that people call you and people say you are, but who you are. When I went through that season of being alone, I learned how nasty my attitude can be. I learned how irritable I am. I learned how nonchalant I can be about things. I learned what lazy days look like for me. I learned how critical I am of myself. I learned my likes, my dislikes. I learned the things that I wanted to aspire to do better. I made lists. I was like, I want to cook better. I want to smell better. I want to dress better. I want to be healthier. I want to be more, well versed in international things. I want to travel. I want to know Christ intimately. I mean, oh. And so I know this post is just so like everywhere, but the picture, because I said yesterday, and you all don't know this, but like I said, when I was recording the vlog, I was like, I'm gonna tell you the backstory of the picture. And so ultimately the backstory of that picture is I was in a season alone. And that season had moments of crying. That season had moments of uncertainty. That season had moments of backsliding situations. And by that, I don't mean in my faith. I mean just naturally going back to the things that I had decided I would come out of and unlearn. But that season was such a defining season for me. And I'm still in the defining, decade if we're going to be technical. But that season of just being physically away from my initial community and my family and friends, and in school, working towards a goal, while going through a breakup, while trying to validate myself. Oh my goodness. So I just want to talk to whoever is feeling alone today. I want to talk to anyone who is alone. And I mean, physically, there's no one with you, but I want to tell you, Christ is always with you. So honestly, you're never by yourself. But if you're in a season or in a space where you are alone, I want to first and foremost say it's time to make the most of it. It's time to get up and maximize the space you're in. And it's time. It's time to come against depression and any mental attacks that the enemy has set out for your life that will not succeed. It is time to love you. Because honestly, when you can love yourself, honey, you become contagious. You become that much more attractive, and people want to know who you are. Trust me. And it's not about using this season to be more attractive, but why not? Why not become more attractive in a season? Why not love yourself more? Before I started dating again, honey, you couldn't tell me nothing. I mean, I was like, I have options. My standards are popping. I am good. I am legitimately bad all by myself. And it wasn't for show. It wasn't for fluff, and it wasn't for social media likes. It was a genuine, deeply rooted feeling of I like me. I like what I see. I like what I smell like. I like what I feel like. I just like what I talk about. I like what I read about. I like the things I can produce at a dinner table. I love me some me. But it didn't start there. I wasn't there in that picture. And when I went to do that painting, I was in a really fragile place. And, you know, I think no matter where I move, no matter what house I get, when I get, you know, my husband and when we have kids, I want that picture to always be somewhere in my house. Because it is literally one of the first things I did by myself. So just a random story time, I guess. I know I rambled a little bit. I'll probably sit down and talk more about, like I said, breakups and being single and things like that. But I guess I just want to tell you the backstory of that picture and share something about myself that maybe most people who aren't in my immediate circle wouldn't know. So I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. I want to talk to y'all. I want to talk to you. I want to chat with you. I need to leave the room because the janitor is in the window and it's creepy and I'm ready to go. I'm sleepy. You ain't even know I knew how to freestyle. Now you got to pay for the rest of that album. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.